I'm a big fan of undermining what I view as the frequent arrogance of humanity. So, one of the ways in which I like to look at this is the way in which we define ourselves as having language and other animals as not having language. But, our sort of mainstream society is like, ugh, animals don't talk. We speak. We use words. They just make noises that communicate things to each other. So, I think that language is inherent in the universe. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was a grunt, or a whistling wind, or a shake of the feather, a flapping arm, or a howling discontent, a smiling tooth, or vibrating web, an ink black and blue sky, or whispering in the treetops, a muddy nucleotidal pool, or crunching underfoot, tongues loud as drums, no different from nervous twitching chemical cocktails, or a dead leaf drifting across the street like a page ripped from a good book. And writing that sort of thing is a very weird thing to do. But then, all my life, I've been called a weirdo. And after all, like all mammals, like all of you, I am just a dancing salt flat that poops mineral deposits and bleeds oceanic. And as if that weren't weird enough, I'm the sort that loves to hide in dark corners and yet lives for the spotlight. Though among the weirdest of the many weird things about me is probably that I took considerable time in my life to study the Anglo-Saxon language, better known as Old English, from which study I learned that weird actually means fate, or destiny, or more specifically and cheerfully, as the Anglo-Saxons would have it, death fate. As in, a person's weird is their fatal destination, not just the oddities and boddities of which they are made. And I know, the idea that we are captive to fate and divine trickery isn't so popular these days, so I suppose I should explain that my concept of free will is that of a train running uphill towards a split in the tracks, saying, I think I choose, I think I choose, I think I choose, I think I choose. And if that seems limiting to your potential, I might tell you how wings are a limitation that enable birds to fly. Like fins are a limitation that enable whales to swim. Like my body has limitations that enable me to dance. Kind of. And I would still tell you that we are a marvelously complex biological phenomena. Puddles of dust become microverse. But I would say that in spite of this inborn sense of agency, things will be as they will be. And we are as we are. And what I am, as far as my limited self-awareness allows me to say, is a shy exhibitionist with an itchy brain and the words, "Love is alive and it tastes delicious," tattooed on my smile. Just another weirdo preaching a gospel of strangers. And maybe that's why I invite strangers to speak with me. Even, sometimes especially, those who simply want to tell me how I am doomed to an eternity of suffering. I can think of one such young man who was in the midst of insisting my only salvation could be to believe as he believes when I rudely interrupted him to say, I don't rightly know that I even believe death exists. With that, I began walking away. Well, this young man, like some slack-jawed disciple, followed at my heels asking, "You mean you don't believe we die?" I told him, no, we do. Our bodies cease to exist, but in that moment I was tempted to see if I might convert him to the view that we are an unending cascade of echoes and glances, passing clouds turn mountains in ever-present sky. That when the body is gone, the breath remains. So I could have told that boy about my grandfather. How the old man still lives in my voice when I hum solutions to my problems with his plodding baritone in my throat. Or my knees when they foreshadow the feeling of his cane in my hands. Or my arms when they long to wrap up my loved ones in a great big bear hug. I could have told that boy about my friend and fellow poet. How sometimes I feel his breath slip into my body and pass through my lips faster than they can give it shape, transforming my words into his lightning, striking quick yet articulate. Or how I continue to hear him speak on the tongues of those his voice lifted. Or, how when his body was gone, I still puddled in grief and senseless alcohol and felt like a lost child, and many voices loosed a heart-rent howl, and many hands forgot how to work, and many words transformed into incoherent moans of agony, and his echoes still rumble in the ground, cracking voices and bursting dams, and I am still shaken with tears and laughter, for his body is gone, but his breath remains. So then I might tell that boy about the weird sisters, Those fates who only make their cuts so all these yarns could be woven into a larger fabric where we will live together again, as two words in a sentence, bonded molecules in exhalation, a subconscious gesture. I might have added that the word yarn derives from a root that means guts or intestines, those chords on which our bodies play when they plug in and go electric. So then I might have asked him to listen to the music vibrating on those twisted strings inside him and explain that we are nothing more than sound shaped out of silence, nothing more than music of the cosmos, resonating waves washing one over the other, and I would say how every wave breaks and washes back into the sea, giving rise to new swells. So as the body goes, the breath remains. Finally, I would tell that boy that I am happily on my way to whatever weird place it is that I'm going. And that if I have any thought of an afterlife, it is a dream that I will become a story and a compost heap, a glimmer in the eye and a curling lip, a pool of laughter collecting in the lungs of people who never knew me, and a drop of water in the eyes of those who did. That I will become a signpost reading, "Love your weird," pointing in whichever direction it is that you are traveling. And that I will leave behind me such things as a smell of aged paper, a sound of dirty laughter, a touch of rain and wet hair, a taste of figs, an echo rumbling in the ears of those I leave behind that sounds like a smile saying this, this, this. Because this song is the song that never ends. Really, it sounds like nothing at all, or everything, all at once.